Raid Shadow Legends, I wanted to talk to you all about Void Legendary Champions. There are a few out there I feel like that need a rework, two for sure, and there's two that I think just need a little bit of a buff. But you let me know what your thoughts are on all the Void Legendary Champions out there. Let's get into it. That is not where we want to go because I don't have them all. We got to go to Bannerlord. So Bannerlord's Raglan was just recently buffed up. She's very cool. She can bring back targets back to life with a full turn meter on a 3-turn cooldown. 2-turn cooldown, actually. So it's insane, right? 2-turn cooldown to do this is crazy. That was recently one of her changes. Also remove the buffs, heals, and then increases the turn meter. Phenomenal champion. Now, the reason why we're going over all these kind of fast are because we want to talk about the 4 that I feel need a buff, right? So you're going to look at these and see how phenomenal all these Void Legendary Champions, and then you can kind of compare them to the 4 that I'm talking about where I think they need to be redone because we all want to make sure that we get amazing Legendary Champions. Now, if we were to go over all the Legendary Champions that need to be buffed in the regular affinity, we'd probably be here all day. So Baron is an amazing DPSer. Again, we want to look at how different these Void champions are compared to the other ones that I'm going to talk about, how they have like their plays or their cool mechanics or their cool abilities that set them apart from the ones we're going to see, right? So we have here, he can attack, do damage, unlock the secret ability, another one to unlock the secret ability, along with very good abilities. Now, if he unlocks the secret ability, it's an AoE damage that deals pure damage and will ignore shields and block damage. It's crazy. It will wipe almost anything out. It hits super hard, and he has good stats to go with everything. Good defense even to go with the good attack, HP. The speeds are a little bit low on a lot of these Void Legendaries. It's kind of weird, but it's because, I guess, because they do so much damage. So he has a chance to, right? RNG to do crazy amount of damage. So let's go on to the next one. Ithos, another one that is really cool, high damage dealing, single target, AoE actually, that is pretty crazy. So this one we don't need to touch as well. Has a chance to take an extra turn. AoE weaken. AoE, this attack always crits, so you don't have to worry, but you can stack attack, you can stack critical damage, and then with this move alone, you can do a crazy amount. His skill 1 will hit super hard as well. I don't know the multipliers. I do know it's high though. He's got high attack, high HP, low defense, but good speed. So he as well is good to go. A phenomenal champion. Bellinar is one of the 4 I was talking about that doesn't need a total rework, but does need a little bit of love. Let's go back to him after we've looked at everything else. Let's look at the next one, Turvold. Turvold has single target, crazy potential to do a lot of damage. He buffs himself with all these buffs, takes an extra turn, and then does this attack, which is based off of the buffs he has on him. So the more buffs he has on him, the more damage he's going to do. And then if you kill somebody, it resets. It's already on a 3-turn cooldown. It does a crazy amount of damage. So he does really well on his own as well. So another cool like ability and moves that he has that flow well together. So we don't need to mess with Turvold as well. He's a great champion. Ogryn Tribe. We have Gurgo. So Gurgo has the ability to AoE freeze people in a PvP and to remove a random buff, which is really strong in PvP because if you have shields on, they're damn it, the artifacts, immunity artifacts, then he has a chance to take them off. If you come in with immunity artifacts, he'll take them off and then freeze your whole entire team, and then he'll take an extra turn and then come in and light somebody up. Just do massive amount of damage. Does good damage on a skill 1 as well. Also has the ability to place a freeze debuff on an attacker. Crazy if they do 20% of his HP and damage. So he's a crazy champion. We don't need to mess with him. Great champion. If you got him, he can do work. He can do some serious work. So who else do we have? Lizardman, we have the new Krisk and Lizardman. I'm not going to go over all his abilities. Great champion, AoE off of defense, hits everybody, does all these ally protect, continuous heal. He's really annoying, and his passive is super annoying because it places decreased attack, decreased defense. So a great guy all around in the whole game. He's super strong. You already know that. So we know he's good as well. So when I talk about these other ones that need some help, you know they need help, right? You've already seen the amazing ones that we're already going over right now. You're going to be like, you're right, Stu. I think these ones do need a little bit of a buff, right? We'll see. So we got Oryx as well. Oryx have Warlord. If you've known Warlord, he's been around forever. Extend the duration of debuffs. Gives you that block debuffs, heals all his allies, restore all allies HP, and then also has the ability to lock out all your skills, put them all on cooldown, right? Put all your skills AoE on cooldown, do damage, and then he has a chance to deplete each target's turn meter. Fully deplete it. Insane. Warlord is a phenomenal. Angar, we're going to go back to him. He's one that I feel needs a total rework, so we'll get back to him in a second. Who else did we have? He was in Orcs. Demon Spawn, Krutrexa, highest DPS damage in the game. Single target DPS in the damage in the game. Because if you ignore, this is basically a built-in decreased defense, right? If you decrease defense somebody, that's a 60% less defense that they have. This has a built-in 50% defense. Also, she has pretty cool survivability here because she comes into play with this. So, and then places this revive on death whenever she kills somebody. Very strong. Spider legs, okay, that's fine. We don't care about that. And then this ability hits very hard as well and then grants an extra turn. So this ability combined with skill 1, which is just a complete nuke, along with her ability to put a revive on death when she kills somebody, still the single target. I mean, if you put this is a lot of people's skill 3 to ignore 50% defense. If you put this ability on anybody's A1, they immediately become one of the strongest single target or whatever their ability A1 does, DPSers in the game. This could be toned down to maybe 40%. It wouldn't be a complete loss, but it could be toned down. And Neithwi, he's another one that needs a total rework, and we'll get right back to him in just a second because I don't think we have many more to go over. Who do we have in Undead? Nobody. Dark Elves, we have, oh yeah, we have 2 here. No, 1. Okay, Blind Seer, phenomenal support champion. Bring everybody back to life, put block damage buff on them, has a whole bunch of other stuff to do. So you know Blind Seer, she's very good. She also has been around for quite a while. So we also have Solas. Solas needs just a little bit of buff. I'll go over this one. This is one of the 4 that just needed just a small tweak, right? They just improved him to do an AoE provoke. Very good. I love it. And then this one removes debuffs and then does a provoke as well. This has a chance to stun. Only thing they need to do is bring up this speed. I think because he's an old school Void champion that they didn't really pay attention to the speed, but that speed is way too low. If they brought that up to 99, he would be a phenomenal champion. He'd be up there with all the rest of the Void champions. He's good, don't get me wrong. He's not bad, they just buffed him. He's good, but they need to bring the speed up to 99. They really do. Hegemon, if you don't know Hegemon, you know, he's good. He's fantastic. He always goes first. Always goes first. If he procs this 50% chance to proc this block cooldown skills, then you're done. You're done. You're over with. Unless you have your immunity artifacts up or a way to get rid of it. And don't talk to me about high resistance. High resistance does not work. Any kind of resistance you have out there, I can counter you with just high accuracy. And if you're playing a Hegemon and you don't have, 450 accuracy, then there's something wrong with you. You should have it, and you should have stun artifacts on him or something like that as well. But you should for sure have 450 accuracy, which is super easy to get. Then you should have it. If you're gonna play a Hegemon, get that on him, and you're good to go. If you're rolling with just high attack and no accuracy on a Hegemon, you're doing it all wrong. So let's go on to, do we have any left? No, we don't have anybody left. Okay, that was it. So who I think Belinar and Solas need a small tweak. Solas needed the one we talked about, Knight's Revenant and speed, right? So we need to give him a little bit more speed. 99 I think would be really good, and this guy would be a phenomenal. He'd be up there with the rest of all these phenomenal champions we saw. High Elves, that's right. So his ability on his skill 2 is pretty cool. It does the decreased defense and weaken, and then he pops you, right? And then he can also place the increased defense on himself, whatever, we don't care about that. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, so if you place his decreased defense and a weaken, then I would think this would hit really hard. But the rest of his abilities are pretty lackluster. He came out a long time ago on Valentine's Day. I think he came out before global release, so he's one of those champions that kind of need to go back and look at. He's got great stats. All these stats are great. And this ability is pretty cool, right, if he's with Xayvia, but he needs his own thing, right? He doesn't need it to be a cool ability if he's with somebody. He needs a little bit more love. So I think he needs a bit of a rework, some tweaking in there to make him a little bit better. Let me know if you have him. Let me know how hard he hits. And I can just tell by looking at his skills that yes, this is amazing. But still, overall, he just doesn't have that what everybody else has, right? He just doesn't have it. So those are the 2. Now we're going to talk about the 2 that I feel need a complete rework. Okay, it's in Orcs. Just kidding. I'm there. So Angar, I've seen a lot of people try to use him over the last 6 months, and they just can't find a place for him, right? They put him in amazing gear, and they just, since they have him, they want to use him, right? He does damage based off of attack and HP. They want to find a place for him. He's a Void Legendary. You always want to find a place for your Void Legendary if you're lucky enough to get one. And this guy places a provoke, puts reflect on everybody. People try to use him in Fire Knight even just for the reflect. He just doesn't work out. He doesn't do any damage. And yes, if he's attacked, he has a chance to provoke again if they have a provoke on them. But even still, he needs a lot. He needs to be able to put out some damage. Everybody in the game needs to be able to put out some damage. This guy needs to be able to put out damage and do more than just provoke, and then maybe provoke you again if you have a provoke on you. He's lacking a lot. I really think this guy needs to be redone. He even looks really cool. He looks like he just whack your head off with this axe. You would think he'd get some abilities to be able to do that. So this guy needs a total rework out of the last two that I'm talking about, and Enethwi Blood Twin is the other one. So this is why Demon Spawn. So when you compare Enethwi to Baron, to Ithos, to Kutraxa, to Turvold, to all those ones, even Augur, all those ones that just do a crazy amount of damage and also have special abilities either for survivability, ignore defense, lower defense, can proc special moves to just wipe everybody out, take extra turns. This guy is like the worst of the worst lackluster. He has one cool ability: enemies killed by this champion cannot be revived. Okay, that is one thing. The rest of it is all attack, decreased HP, attack, this execute. This execute is kind of cool, but still it leaves him. And then an AoE on 3-turn cooldown, which is good, really good, but he places Leech. If I could take my Zargala and put Zargala's moves here. 2-turn Devastate, whenever you kill something, he goes into his 3-turn, his 4-turn AoE here that does decreased defense, and then his skill 1 would leave a weaken for 1 turn. If I could put Zargala's abilities here, boom, I would love this guy. This guy would be amazing. But nothing in here is exciting compared to all the other stuff you saw, and he's a Void Legendary Champion. This guy needs some love, like really needs some love. All the rest of this stuff is great. Yeah, high attack, I get it, no problem. This also doesn't make a lot of sense. He needs a shield on himself, an HP shield based on the damage he does, because first off, on the bosses, he's just going to get killed. Anybody based off of attack just gets killed anyways. He needs something to help out. If he had a shield based off of damage he does, 30% of the damage he does, even if it was a high shield, right? Say he's got a 50k shield on him. Well, you can remove shields, you can block shields, so a shield wouldn't be that dirty, but you could get something on him. Even if you were to do an AoE and get a 50k, 20k shield on him. Frank does it. Frank does an AoE on the Spiderlings and gives everybody like a crazy amount of shield. This guy really needs to be reworked compared to all the other legendaries out there, along with Angar. So I think those are the two. Let me know your thoughts on what you feel about all the Void legendary champions out there. There are an amazing amount of Void legendary champions. Like if I pull any of them besides Angar, Enethwi, which I've already pulled, and Bellinarl. Like if I pulled Bellinarl right now, I'd be pretty upset. I wouldn't think I'd be like, man, out of all the legendary champions I could have got, if I pull him, if I pull Angar, if I pull Enethwi, I'm like, damn, man, I got the short end of the stick. So there's not that many of them. And Solus is fine. He's good. He just needs a little bit more speed, but he's actually got a really good kit. I would feel a little upset if I got some of these other ones. I wouldn't be that happy because you want to be able to pull a Void legendary and you want it to be amazing. So I hope those 4 get reworked a little bit. Well, 3 really, because the 4th one is just Solus getting more speed, Bellinar getting a little bit better, and then Enethwi and Angar getting a total overall rework and making them good, right? Make those Void legendaries better. Let me know your thoughts on all the Void legendaries out there, because there are a lot, but there aren't that many. If we went over all the regular affinity legendaries that needed buffs, we'd be here forever because there's so many of those. But that's all I've got. I hope you all are having a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're watching this during Thanksgiving, and I'll see you all on the video soon.